Hi out there. Wow, good to see you at this time. I hope you are catching fun right there at lockdown and at some other critical time as this. My name is James Komolafe, and what a pleasure welcoming you to this special classic coming to you from the School of Articulation and Behavioral Alignment Resources. I hope you have been keeping safe and keeping social distancing, washing your hand with alcohol-based sanitizer, and doing the needful at this COVID-19 lockdown. They call it lockdown, and you are indeed in isolation at home. I tell you what, isolation can be your moment for transformation. And so, in that light, we want to share together this evening how to avoid superimposition at such a critical times as this. This is coming to you courtesy of the School of Articulation and Behavioral Alignment Resources, aka SABA Resources. What is superimposition? And how can I avoid superimposition, especially at such a time as this? Superimposition is anything that shifts your position from your normal person, the person you are, to somebody else. You just discover that there is a tilt and a shift in your behavior, in your attitude. You just discover that some things and issues and circumstances are beginning to have a field day over your normal person. So at periods and points of superimposition, people go abnormal. At times, like a little madness there, just because something is radically wrong out there. So superimposition could be the good, the bad, and of course the ugly. But one thing that stands out at any time and at any point in time is for you to realize and know that you are always in the saddle of responsibility. What happens to you and around you is a function of how you have come to appreciate who you are and accommodate your personal lifestyle. So anything that takes an individual out of his personal definition into the default mode is creating a journey into superimposition. Many things are happening during COVID lockdown, COVID-19, the pandemic. Of course, you didn't prepare for this time, but it has come. So what do you need to do? You need to shoot up your coping mechanism to be able to find the needed adjustment. Otherwise, superimposition will be the order of the day. Superimposition moves any man out of his true position. He begins to operate in his default mode. When you leave your place of originality and genuineness, you are likely to enter into another space where what is available becomes the obtainable. And that is the subtle thing about superimposition. You just discover that you are leaving your own place. You are trying to begin to define and describe your comfort zone by what is not originally in your own lifestyle. Your attitude, your habits, and your disposition is beginning to wear a new look. This is the small story about superimposition. Many miss out on this critical internal procedure either by ignorance, and because of that, they create a window for superimposition. When you are not in your original self, and you are beginning to tilt away and shift away from your values and virtues, then You are in superimposition. Superimposition will lead a man into violation of his own personal qualities. The usual character is beginning to get contaminated, and his lifestyle is beginning to get warped up because of the situations around. Anything can happen just as it is happening now, but you are still in charge of what happens inside you. In superimposition, every activity, reality, and the ability of an individual is wrongly channeled. You forfeit your responsiveness and lose your responsibility at the same time. I want to share with you briefly on this classic 10 major elements of what you call a superimposition, so that when you see it, you can recognize it and walk away from superimposition, especially at this time of COVID-19 pandemic. Number 1, it is an uninvited incursion or negative introduction into your life. You didn't invite it, and even most times, superimposition is unexpected. 2, it is an inner damp. Superimposition comes to impose itself on you to dampen your mind through the good, the bad, and the ugly. So it is not all the time that superimposition is the bad phenomenon out there. No, it could even be good, but it shifts you away from who you are meant to be and from yourself. And that is the bad aspect of it. Number 3, it comes by marriage of convenience. And you know, in marriage of convenience, you are asking for what is there for you, and your other partner too, who is coming into that marriage, is only coming in for the purpose of what he or she can get from it. That is how superimposition works. It comes with facts and figures just to convince you why you must accept that new reality, even when it will not work better for you at the other times. So number 4, every superimposition fulfills the law of contract. There is an offer on one hand, and there is the acceptance on the other hand. Superimposition works like that. It doesn't just come on you without your willingness to welcome it. So you have to take caution there to know that superimposition follows the law of contract. There's something for you to get, and there's also something for you to give at the same time. Number 5, superimposition buries the evidence of the original life. The counterfeit shoots out so strong as to take over that individual's personal definition. So the individual begins to walk in the default mode. Number 6, every superimposition comes with a negative alibi, opening up the vacancy for other behavioral violations and tendencies such as fear, panic, apprehension, intimidation, and instability everywhere. Number 7, superimposition operates and institutes its own regime. And you know what? A regime is the system of government in operation at a particular period of time. So when superimposition comes upon a life, it creates its own energy regime. Your spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical energy is being coordinated by superimposition. And it begins to administer. And you could even be doing the good. You could find yourself in the bad and at times the ugly. Why? You even remember, you say, this is not me. Why am I doing this? Have you found yourself in such situation at times where you just say, hey, oh boy, look here, why this? And you begin to question yourself. It is because there is an introduction of superimposition there. So please check it immediately. When superimposition is operating its own energy regime, It coordinates and governs both the pivot and the plotting of a life. It has the capacity to refocus and redirect your action under certain conditions. And it comes in to do that with a negative indictment. It will fault what is wrong. It will fault what is right in order to introduce what is wrong into your life. So you have to be careful about superimposition. Superimposition can be from an individual person, it can be from a place, and it can be from platforms. So you have to be aware. It can be from human beings, it can be from anybody, it can be from any situation and circumstances. That is why you need to know yourself, grow yourself, and then show yourself so that you can overcome superimposition. Number 8, energy consumption and expenditure becomes a default reality when a man operates in superimposition. You just discover that you are burning your energy and building it on a wrong lane. And in fact, it can be on the right lane but directed towards something for which you are not meant to do. That is superimposition. You have good energies but having wrong target at a time, and you come to yourself and say, so why am I even doing this? What have I achieved in this? When superimposition comes into a life, it has the capacity to change your original intention into something else. So don't allow for COVID-19 to change your intention. You are still yourself. Cooperate with your emotional ecosystem and raise your values wherever it is needed and necessary so that you can do the right thing at this right hour and get the right result. Number 9, superimposition is a mock manifestation of your personal identity. When superimposition comes your way, it mocks your personal identity. At times it mimics it, and if care is not taken, you can begin to think that is who you are. When people are beginning to fault some of your action, your decision, don't just open your mouth and say, this is me, this is who am I am. You need to check through and through to discover whether it is actually you or not. So superimposition has a way of consuming your energy, and it has a way of also spending your energy. Number 10, when superimposition is in place, it tells you one statement: you are not in position. I am now in charge. Some other things coming. Superimposition doesn't come alone. It comes with some bad friends there just to influence you and to change what you stand for completely over time. So when you see superimposition, please stand up to it. Know that that is not you. Never must you allow your condition to be your conviction. That you are in the house, staying safe, and in isolation does not mean you cannot enjoy transformation. You only need to know yourself, find a means to grow yourself, and showcase who you are in the true essence of it. You can overcome superimposition. You are not at the mercy of it. In the next video, we will show you possibly how to recognize superimposition and how to stand up to it so that you can remain yourself at every point in time. At this COVID-19, don't shift your guard. Be yourself. Don't shift your guard. Build yourself. Don't shift your guard. Please manifest yourself. Do the needful. Stand tall, knowing that this situation and condition only came and it will pass. Thank you so very much. See you next time, and cheers.